Welcome everyone to another If by Whiskey. Or no, this isn't If by Whiskey. This is a Not Conscious. See, it's been such a long couple of weeks.
Say it's if by
Happy New
White
Year.
today.
Tiffany, I see you over there.
What's
I
up?
haven't seen you in like 4 months
It's been like
since the
6
Ron Paul
months.
barbecue. It's
I
been
know.
ages. How are you?
You know what? I can't complain. It's been a really good end of a really shitty year. So we're glad and
Oh,
hoping that 2026 is better. So I've been great, actually.
cool. Cool. Well, if you feel you need to purge 2025, this is definitely the place to do it.
No shit.
I just want to let you know. So,
Yeah.
welcome everyone. Hopefully, we'll have some questions coming up. Please feel free to drop any questions. But, Tiffany, this is what happened. I decided last year that I was going to go all in on this thing, at least try my best. So, I did Freedom Fest, and there was this opportunity to go to this Ron Paul thing. So,
That
I'm
was
like,
awesome.
$1,000. I'm like, geez, $1,000, flight to Texas, got to get a hotel, car, blah, blah. Fuck it. Let's do it. Right. So Spike Cohen actually hit the order button for me, if you could believe it. Like I'm like, hit the button before I change my mind. Anyway, so I walk by and I get a ding, and it's you. It's you. So I know that there's something wooshy wooshy going on here because like we come to talk a little bit, and your background's very interesting. So I'd love for you to give us like the origin story, the Grandstaff origin story,
Oh my God.
and we'll go from there. And trust me, I this is like a show. It should be called Tangents because I'll jump
I'm
in and we'll
about to
go off
say.
different directions
I
as
don't even know
we
where to
talk.
begin. Yeah, that's going to be a huge story. So, I mean,
Well,
how far back do you want me to take this? Like the fucking Stone
well, this
Age?
is the thing. You seem like an East Coast person, like East Coast, like a Jersey Philly girl, but you're not, right?
Boise? No, I'm from the Midwest.
Right.
Yeah,
So it's interesting because you have like a rock persona kind of.
I think that has
Like
a
a
lot to
rock
do
like
with. I was raised by my dad, and my dad was this motorcycle. He was the president of a motorcycle club where we're from, and he was a drag racer, and he was a single dad. And I was raised by him, and so I got a little bit of that rough around the edges thing going on, But I think that might
totally.
be where it comes from. Yeah.
That's awesome. So do you ride or did you
No,
ever
but
like
I
participate in this?
I definitely do love to. And actually, it's funny that you ask. So in April, so here in Iowa, where I'm from, you can only get your motorcycle license twice a year. And you have to go through these classes and do all this stuff. And so in April, they're having it at this local college. And so I plan to sign up and get my license and ride around on a Harley. It has to be a Harley or my dad will disown me. So that's what we're going to do.
Do you have a model in mind, like a fat boy or
You
whatever
know,
I
it's
don't know.
funny that you asked because I'm such a petite lady. I'm only 4'11" and I only weigh 100 pounds. So holding up a big bike might be a problem. So I'm thinking like a Sportster probably. It's probably
Yeah.
the size and that I need. So
Yeah,
something.
maybe like a nine. What is it? The 916. I think they have one. I don't know. There's so many different models out there. But
Yeah.
well, good luck. That's good. But stay safe out there because like I'll admit like I didn't mind riding like motocross and like dirty bikes and like ATVs off road. But I'm in Arizona. I'm just afraid someone's running a red light and just gonna T-bone my ass with
I
a.
was thinking
You know
about
what I
that. I
mean?
was like, man, when I get up to 60, 70 miles an hour, that might be a little bit different than just riding around on bullshit around in the fields and stuff. So I don't know. I think I've got it in me. And I'm my
Oh yeah,
dad's only child, and so I've got to carry the torch for the old man. So
very cool.
got to
Love
go.
that. That's such a great perspective to have that. So this is a crazy thing. Let's go back to a little bit more of the origin. So you grew up like I guess he worked on the cars, right? Mechanic, motorcycle club, and he was the president.
Yeah, so he was the president of a Milwaukee Iron in Kokomo for quite a while,
Very
and he was a drag racer. But he was an engineer, so he flew all over the world doing these engineering projects everywhere. But those were his hobbies. I was his only child. We lived out in the country, so I mean, I wanted to be around dad, so I just went out to the garage and would hang out with him and watch what he was doing, and kind of got into those types of things. And I got to be on the back of his bike a lot, or I got to ride in the race car up to the pit with him quite a bit and do the burnouts with him. And so, yeah, I mean, I guess if I was his son, I probably would have had a different origin story. But because I was his daughter, he sort of let me choose what I was doing, but had I been his son, I probably would have ended up as a race car driver, just like my dad.
Yeah, but how cool is that? It's not like you slapping the wrench out of your hand either. You know what I mean?
It's funny. My dad's nickname is Wrench, and he's got it tattooed on his arm.
Yeah, I told you I'm psychic, right? So anyway, so it's just funny because we talk about like the patriarchy and stuff, and you're Gen. How I don't want to date you or something, but are you in this Gen millennial border?
I guess I'm 84, so I think that's millennial, right?
Okay.
Is that millennial?
Yeah, that's my girlfriend. Same thing. Right on the 84 is millennial. I think 80 is the end of X.
So I mean,
but you're like early, but you still had the transition where you.
Yeah, I still got to do the 90s thing. I was still a latchkey kid. I still have the drink out of the water hose bullshit. So I think I got the best of both worlds. I got to play outside before the internet and just like Atari, and then I got to see the advent of the internet come out. So
very cool. And I hear a pooch. Totally cool.
They're all they're my coworkers. I've got 3 of them.
Wow, you 3 we just got a new baby boy. He's 62 pounds plus. He's
what is it?
Golden, like a 43% golden, 10%, 14% like Argentinian dogo, and then like 10% cattle, 10% Australian cattle, and 10% the other cattle or something. So
I love.
He's a big boy, but he's been fun. We just got him a month and a half ago. So.
I've got her.
So you have 3 coworkers. What are your 3 coworkers' names?
This is Lily Hammer McDoggenstein of the Boston McDoggensteins. she's the most distinguished of the 3. She's about 14 years old, and then we've got. She's
been knighted as well by Elton John or something.
Yeah, she was last year. I can't believe you missed it.
That was a candle in the wind. Was for.
Yeah, that was all for her. And then I've got just like a hound dog that my son. So she's obsessed with me, and my son decided that he needed to have a dog too. So we went and got him a dog, and then that dog ended up being obsessed with me also. So. I'm Snow White with this shit. I don't know what to do. And then, so we got a 3rd dog because we thought it was going to be a Chihuahua because we thought this one it was getting old. And so we thought we'd get another one. So we got her. And so now we've just got a fucking farm up in here, Grandstaff Farms Incorporated.
That's fun. So let me go to some comments because it's people I haven't seen. So I'm assuming they're your people.
Probably.
I love that. So Jesse 1115.
Yeah.
Heart and the heart. Hand heart and regular heart. All right, that's good. And then we got Lily Hammer from I for Mind.
Lily's kind of her own celebrity, so I mean, it's sort of her show today. I'm just
very nice. I like it.
Clever. Yeah.
It's she did monetize a little better than you did last year. Sounds like
a little bit. And she's got some contests she's in, and I think voting starts today. And so she can be America's Favorite Pet and be on the cover of America's Favorite Pet magazine. So we'll see.
Shoot that out. We got to get that link. I remember you shared it on Facebook, but we'll share that again. Please do that. So we definitely want to hook that up. So for everyone who's joining once again, we're with Tiffany Grandstaff. Now, Tiffany, so how did you get in? So you're a free spirit living in the country and being a latchkey kid and all this stuff. Is that what led to your career in this like free journalism kind of thing? Or what was the next iteration after you kind of left the nest and started kind of making your own path?
My dad was convinced that I was going to be a lawyer. So I'm good at public speaking and I'm good at arguing my case, and I will research you under the table to prove what I want to prove. And I usually don't speak unless I already have my research done. So he really thought that I was going to be a lawyer, and I pursued that. And then, I had my sons instead, and then decided that I would return to school. And then I started my writing career. I decided that I'd pay all of my bills in advance for 3 months, and then I would save up as much money as I could. And I got all that done. I saved up all my money, and then I went to Walmart. It was one night at 3:00 in the morning, if you can believe it. It was back when Walmart used to be open for like 24 hours a day, and the best time to go was like in the middle of the night. And so I went there and I bought my first computer and a little chair and some supplies. And then I sat down and I didn't get up until I got my first job writing. So that's what I did. I edited my first book, and they loved me so much. They passed me around to their friends. And the next thing I knew, I just had a whole portfolio of clients. And it's been about 15 years now that I've been doing it. I've worked with some of the coolest the coolest people and the coolest projects ever. And it led me to things like the Ron Paul birthday party where I met you, and I get to do things like this. And I just love every minute of it. So the origin story is pretty nuanced and complex. I think it's going to take an entire book to explain the origin story.
Well, that's beautiful, because it sounds like you have the ability to write the book. So
yeah, maybe
you're set up for it.
Yeah, I should try to put it all into a book.
Awesome. Well, let me go back to some comments, because we've got some friends of yours. Hey, Tiff.
Hey, I
don't know who that is. Tell us who you are, please. Feel free to share. And then we got my baby girl, love you, from Glenda. So you've got a lot of fans here. You've actually like quadrupled the number of people who watch the show just now. It's pretty impressive.
Maybe I should just get on more often and just do podcasts more often.
There we go. I've heard the best podcast format is three people with two men and a woman.
Yeah.
And there's just something about the flow of that works really well in the play, and they work on that. So maybe
it reminds me of that show, Bob and Tom. Did you ever listen to Bob and Tom when you were?
I've heard of Bob and Tom.
Oh, it's amazing. So it was a really big thing in Indiana. I think they originated in Indiana, so maybe that's why it was such a big deal in Indiana versus other places. But right. They have that same dynamic, and they're pretty fantastic. So listen to them, and you can thank me later.
There we go, Bob and Tom. So we've got a lot of plugs already starting here. So it's pretty crazy. All right. So let's see. We've got a couple more things. Tiffany is an amazing writer. Her style is unmatched. Seldom have I read such relatable material. Definitely here for her. That's so awesome. That's great. Casey, I don't know if she meant Casey Kasem. No, actually, that is Casey. I'm kidding. I was just kidding. That is Casey, apparently.
Oh, my God. That was such an old reference. I love it.
I know. Welcome to Top 40. Well, remember, I'm look, Dick Clark's American Bandstand.
You're the voice guy, so do a Casey Kasem for me.
We got a long distance dedication from the one we love. I can do more of a Reagan. Tear down this wall. I can do Clinton. I can do a little. Trump is tough, but I can do a great Ben Shapiro, Mark Levin. They might come out later.
Let me hear a Ben Shapiro. Holy crap! Let me hear a Ben Shapiro.
What do you mean? What do you mean? What do you mean? I'm not. What? I can't talk like that. What do you want? What's wrong with you, Tiffany? Are you some kind of anti-Semite? All of a sudden, that's ridiculous. I can't believe that you would even think that Israel should not be able to do what it's doing.
Oh, that's hilarious.
And all you have to do, it's like Ben Shapiro plus 40 years is Mark Levin.
He's just yelling like this, and it's the same thing, but it's just like that.
So.
I think probably morph into that over the years, probably.
I know, that's what it is. You're going to watch this transition from Shapiro to Levin.
Ben Shapiro is so high strung. He gives me anxiety just watching him.
Okay. So you, as a journalist, let's go back to like COVID time. 2020 happens, okay? We get Operation Warp Speed, 2 weeks to stop the spread, and this whole thing just starts to go. All these guys, Shapiro said get the jab, so screw that guy. But Peterson he said it too. God damn it. There were some that there was a group of people that were all marginalized, right? In the beginning of 2020, being censored, right? As they rose, and they were fighting the whole free speech censorship bullshit.
Yeah, and they're the same people now that's the only people anyone's listening to. But, you are a conspiracy theorist and an idiot. And I saw that shit coming. Everything started kind of in like December, January, wasn't it? And by March, I was like, this seems like a psyop and like some reverse psychology bullshit. Like even the BLM shit seemed like it was an attempt to resegregate society on its own, to make society resegregate itself. And it was like, I'm not falling for this shit. But I still had the neighbors that if you were outside at all, they were just crazy about it. And I've got this big swing and all this stuff out in my backyard. I really like to be outdoors in the summer, and I'd be out there. And of course, I'm a smoker, so every now and then I'd be coughing and they'd be like, she's got the fucking death flu, kill her.
But are you a joker and a midnight toker? You have to be kind of 2 out of 3 ain't bad.
I plead the fifth.
Kind of helps to
plead the fifth. Sorry.
Anyway, God, please continue. It's just, so it just got crazy, right? I mean, what the hell? And then now those same voices are now the victims and telling us to shut up and censoring us. It's like, what happened to you people? How do principles go out the window so quickly when it just happens and not be my side?
And it's so hilarious to me because it really echoes the Nazi regime almost, and how that sort of started, and how the us versus them and the otherness came about. And you can sort of pick and choose and replace what otherness you're going to talk about, but they use that as the otherness token, right? And it started to demonstrate what kinds of people were going to back whatever the government said, regardless of critical thinking, versus the people who were willing to go against that. And when I was growing up, I was so fascinated by how something like that could happen in such a mass scale with all these people, because I was projecting what I thought critical thinking and empathy would be, and realizing that on a mass scale, that's really not something that's present in society was fucking terrifying. I couldn't even go to the store without having somebody staring at me if I wasn't complying with X, Y, or Z. I'm now one of those people that gets everything online. Everything I shop online and it gets sent to me because I just don't want to people most of the time.
Well, you touch grass though. Yeah, I mean, it's not like you're not like a hermit though, because like you literally touch grass. You just don't want to deal with humans. That's acceptable way more than the person who like myself, who probably just shuts himself in his room all day and just like absorbs thousands of people talking at him.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely spend way too much time in my office. I'll say that. But even before the pandemic, I think that I was one of those naive people that was just all about every person has some glitter in them type of situation. And that COVID did nothing. If nothing, it did nothing but teach me that is false. And I just don't want to hang out with anyone but my chosen few and my dogs anymore. And so I don't know if maybe that was part of the plan, right? So because they want everything to be digital and they want everything to be online, and perhaps that was part of the psychological warfare of it all, to make us all prefer.
They want us connected yet not connected to each other.
Yeah,
they want us connected to the hub that is them. They don't want us connected around the wheel. Exactly. They want us connected to the hub, and that is such a dangerous thing. That's the whole centralization that we fight.
Yeah, it's like it's the difference between sitting around listening to the radio like your grandfather and your grandparents may used to do, versus sitting around doing it on the internet, where everything you do, say, think, and feel is tracked, either through Facebook or through the quantum field or just whatever. So at least now when we have conversations, people are in on it, versus not being able to be in on it. So I'm thinking maybe I should have a bonfire or some old school party at my house and have people over.
Pallet fire? Totally.
Yeah.
Gotta have one of those. And everyone bring a letter, right? They just write a letter and throw it in?
Oh my God, I would die to have just a pen pal and somebody just write letters back and forth.
Oh, that'd be cool.
An actual pen pal, like back in the day. You have to write the letter with handwriting. In cursive.
That'd be so cool. God, no one would ever get letters from me. I'd be like, all be scribbles. I could try to just get it right.
What the fuck is this?
Yeah. Well, so I'm gonna share just a weird story, but only because it's kind of turning out okay. My mom had a stroke 2 weeks ago, December 16th, in the middle of the night. She's already home and folding clothes and doing chores and talking almost normal. It's fucking crazy.
What'd she do?
She's come. What's that?
How'd she do that?
So it was basically, I guess it wasn't a clot, but there was some kind of oxygen blow cut to her brain. Something it was a weird thing to the left side. When I saw her the next day, I took a red eye, flew home. She was nonverbal. She was whining when I walked in. 2 days later, she started uttering single words, and she speaks almost completely clearly. You could have a conversation with her right now for a half hour. It's crazy. It's
my dad had a stroke. He had a stroke 19 years ago, when I was in my 20s, and I guess I just aged myself right there, but whatever. But he had a stroke, and it left him completely paralyzed on one side of his body, and he can't speak, and he never could ever again. So I was asking, was it a diet thing? Because the with cancer, they've got the what is it, the Gerson therapy, where it's based on the types of foods that you eat will alkalize or non-alkalize your body. So I was wondering if it was something like that. Does your mom follow a specific diet or a lifestyle?
That's a great question. Yeah. So they have a specific term for the stroke, but basically it was like this one where it just cut. My brother awoke to her screaming and called 911. So then I got called out where I'm at, and then I flew home. And anyway, it's crazy. But I was just making the references. Like the third day, she's right-handed. She was writing left-handed and better than my handwriting. So I wrote my handwriting underneath hers, and then she wrote her. I'm like, what the fuck? So like that's how bad my handwriting is. So no pen pals here is all I'm saying.
Okay,
I'm just
that's fine. I'll find someone else in the audience.
Not that I want to. I would happily do voice and typed messages, but knowing that I typed it happily. Just you want it to be read too.
It's funny that you say that, because it felt like when my dad had his stroke, one side of his brain, my dad was a very analytical engineer, type A planner, that kind of guy. And he had his stroke, and it made him this emotional, just artistic kind of like teddy bear type of thing. Complete
turned
opposite.
off. Yeah. It turned on that openness, creative side, the compassionate side. And that was something also we were going to talk about. Is you were talking about that they weaponize our compassion against us.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
What about the children? What about your grandma? What about you're like, you actually murder children in the experiment. Oh, I'm sorry, YouTube. Allegedly. Sorry, I'm going to get another.
Yeah, you're going to get us blocked. It's the quickest,
like, seriously,
it's the quickest and easiest thing. Like if I had a group of people that I wanted to manipulate, one of the first things I would do is find something that they were emotionally attached to and then try to make them care about that. That's even number one in marketing. If I'm going to market something, I'm like, I'm marketing you this lighter. Why do you give a fuck about this lighter? Well, because emotionally this lighter is connected to what? Like your ability to go out and have a fucking break and take a cigarette break, or light a candle and smell the beautiful aromas in the candle. So now when I create copy and I create an ad for this, I'm going to tap into that. So yeah, you can use it for that kind of shit, but let's not be naive and think that we can't use that for more nefarious things also. You know?
Right. I mean, that's Bernays. I mean, using the Bernaysian method, right?
Yeah,
we just talked, just the lighter alone is the freedom torch in the 1920s for women, right?
Yeah,
basically doubled the number of smokers. Tiffany, look, you got bamboozled.
yeah, I'm fucked. I got taken.
I got bamboozled too.
Yeah, but yeah, I'm glad you mentioned Bernays too, because a lot of people don't really understand. They don't even know that name. First of all, they don't understand the impact that they had on what they think they want, and what they think that is important, or the fact that he took it from being just like, here's this product, let us know if you want this, to here's this product, you're not the same unless you have this. Your life is incomplete, and so are you piece of shit, unless you have this. That depression you're feeling, that incompleteness, it's because you don't have this lighter and that yummy candle or whatever. And so we had to study that in school when we were doing marketing studies. We had to learn how to do things like Bernays. And I thought, man, like I could take this on a whole tangent and just become this CIA agent level mind manipulation thing. And don't ask me if I did or I didn't. That's none of your business.
Well, it is great. Have you ever seen the documentary The Century of the Self?
What is it? The Century of the Self?
It's literally called The Century of the Self. It's a BBC documentary. It's a 4-hour documentary about Edward Bernays. Okay. I did a podcast. I did a 4-part breakdown with my buddy on it, and it's unbelievable how they go through. He's like his Carl Jung's nephew? No, Freud's nephew, right? And all this stuff and how they Bernays is
Bernays is Freud's nephew.
Yeah, that's where the whole yup, doesn't it? Right? Okay. Oh yeah, it goes into his whole history. Like, it's probably one of the best documentaries you've ever seen, because it literally talks about how we had overproduced shit after World War II. And like, what do we do with all this stuff just sitting here? And the guy, we got to get people to want stuff instead of need stuff anymore. Yeah. And now everyone's keeping up with the Joneses and personalizing it. It's one of the most amazing documentary. So I'll share it with you after for
Please
sure.
do. Yeah, I try to teach my kids, don't go after the trendy shit. I just want you to pick and choose the things in society that are available to you, and if you can't, pick and choose the things that you resonate with, and if you can't find them, then invent them. And so create that thing.
And I would even say that for ideas. Like, I was just shitting on like Peterson and Shapiro and some other people before. It's like, yeah, but Peterson did have some clean up your room. That makes sense. You know what I
You
mean?
shit
Like,
on Peterson? Don't shit on Peterson.
I have to a little bit. He's such a piece of shit now.
Why? Because he cries when
I
he's
want to talk to
talking?
him in Scottsdale, but he won't even answer my questions. It's kind of crazy that he won't even do that. That's kind of, what are you talking about? Well, maybe we should have some guidelines, Joe. Maybe
Peterson's my guy, man.
bigger. Like, come on. Maybe we'll do a little hashing out of Peterson. We'll do a Peterson panel.
Yeah,
at some point.
let's do.
But look,
do
I admire his work. I want to be clear. I admire his work.
As a psychologist, I feel like he's got it pinned down, and I feel like he's got the nuances of psychology of man. I think he's got it pretty pinned down. Now his delivery might be a little bit on the fruity side.
He does, but he's literally become the Nietzschean thing. He's become the abyss into which you look too long. You know what I mean? Like, that's kind of what we're learning about another group of people. No, we're learning that about a nation state.
Are you going to
learning
go
about
there?
a nation state. Let me be clear.
We're going to get canceled before we even get on.
No, don't worry about it. I'll have you canceled well before then.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
So let me pull up. Here's a great one. This woman has such amazing mind for writing. Some of her early stuff. Tell us about the Autoblow blog. It's fun to read. Tell us about the Autoblow blog. This sounds like fun.
I don't know, maybe about 5 years ago, I got hired by the Very Intelligent E-Commerce Inc., which are the makers of Autoblow and Autoblow AI, which stormed the fucking sex toy nation with the fact that they integrated AI. They were the first people to integrate AI into a pleasure product. And I got to become a writer for them. And what they wanted me to do was create this fake character that they wanted me, not a fake character, I should say that I was a ghostwriter. And I was a ghostwriter named Blake Parker, which was a man. And this man, Blake Parker, Autoblow AI would send me their products and their competitors' products in huge boxes that my neighbors would be like, "The fuck is that?" And it's like, it's a box of sex
washing machine size fucking arrived on. Is that the pallets that's going to start the fires? Is that what you're going to use to start your fire in the background?
And I would have to take this shit out of the box, and I would have to like look at the instructions and make sure the instructions were well written and that the material was good. And then I would have to write up my summary on how this compared to that or whatever as Blake Parker. And I would write all these things. And so after a while, it sort of blew up, and all of these companies would then have to have the Blake Parker stamp on them, the Blake Parker stamp of approval. And so it was a proud moment.
You actually have a stamp. Please tell me you got one and have one on your desk or something, because if you don't, you must get somewhere.
One. It's in my portfolio somewhere. But listen, It's not, when I was trying to go this way with my career, it wasn't like something I was going to stick in the resume. But it definitely was one of the funner products, because towards the end they wanted me to create videos, and so I would have to unbox these items and like stick my hand inside these fucking toys and be like, it's soft in there, it's texture or whatever. It
doesn't have teeth. That's great.
Yeah. So that wasn't Blake Parker. That was like some other person, but Blake Parker's articles were being read as the script for these things. And so then I went another direction with other clients, and I no longer worked with them anymore. But that was an interesting project I do. So you can still see it if you go to autoblow.com/blog. You can see all of Blake Parker's brilliant literary prowess.
Do they own Blake Parker, or do you own Blake Parker?
I believe they own it. And I had a 3-year.
How cool would it be? Now with AI, with AI, you can literally make Blake Parker a character.
Yeah, I know. I thought about starting a website and just doing things like this and just making but don't get me started on the shit that goes through my mind.
What? That's the whole point of being here. I'm interested about shit that goes through people's minds. This is
Did you hear about that girl that was sold farts in jars and like made like 1,000 bazillion dollars on farts and jars?
Yes.
Like, I can't lower myself to do shit like that, but I'm thinking that's entrepreneurship right there. Like, her mom and dad have to be so proud and be like, we should have not had you go to college. I'm sorry we pushed that so much.
Seriously. Do you have a video of her doing it and then closing it, like labeling it correctly, like certified? Is it COA'd? I need a COA.
Is this
It's
certified?
like, honestly, like,
or-
because the first thing the guy's going to do is want to open and smell that. But come on, but you're going to call stale over travel time. There's no way it settles, right? It's got to be.
Smells like offshore farts is what this smells like, and I feel like
I'm not trying to go deep on this, but it just sounds like it doesn't hold water. It doesn't hold air or gas.
I'm not sure. Yeah, it doesn't hold air. I don't know, but I'm saying is there's a lot of entrepreneurs out there and a lot of different things to do, I suppose.
Blake Parker, Autoblow. Yeah. Hi, I'm Blake Parker. You may know me from Autoblow.
I'm glad after my NDA lifted after 3 years, I started telling people like, hey, go to Autoblow and check this out. And like, that's you.
Yeah, that's so great. I'm actually checking that out. I need all the blog stuff mentioned. So you wrote for a bunch of cool publications. Yeah. I read some Medium articles. I read some other articles. What are some of the places for whom you wrote? And what are some of your favorites? Like, share some of those articles or some of those stories if you could.
I mean, I did some stuff I'm not proud of this, but I did some stuff for BlackRock back in the day. So that was one of my big things. And because I did stuff for them, I was then passed around to some of the people that they own, I suppose, or represent. So, I mean, I got to do some pretty cool stuff with like Jason Momoa. He had this.
Oh, let's go. Look, I remember Momoa from Stargate because I'm a fucking nerd. I don't remember him as the hot dude. I just remember him. Well, I mean, he was fucking hot then too. But I mean, I just remember him from Stargate, Atlanta.
Stargate SG-1, boy.
SG-1, that's what it was.
Yeah. So my first son.
Tell us about that.
So he handpicked me out of a bunch of writers that were submitted in a portfolio to do a bunch of copy for him. So he has this water company called Mananelu, and it's based out of Hawaii. And I guess it's to move water containers away from being plastics because of the microplastics that are found in the water and in the mountains for people that are hiking in the mountains and the volcanoes and stuff. And he wants to move it over to like recyclable and aluminum and recyclable materials. And so Mananelu is a company where he's trying to push this, especially for island people. It's more of like a local company that he's built there. And so I helped him do the copy and building the brand and do all that stuff. And then they had this big campaign where they sent somebody to climb Mount Everest, and I covered the guy climbing Mount Everest, and I had to track his trip on this little app. And I'm thinking, how many people have climbed Mount Everest and died like at the top? Well, this would be shitty if I was I was tracking him on my app, and I'm like, he hasn't moved in like 6 days. So anyway, he got a little
cool, like you're connected to the heartbeat thing, and it's like beep beep beep. It's just like flat lines.
Yeah. So it didn't turn out like that. He got up so far and then he turned around and came back. And so we did a little story about how he did that. And he was talking about the microplastics that he dug out of the side of the mountain. And so we did a little bit of that stuff, but I'm not that passionate. I mean, it's not that it's not important, but I'm just not that I'm passionate about environmental stuff. I guess that's somebody else's gig, I guess. I'm not into it. It's not that it's not important. I don't know. I feel like there's a lot of hot air blown into that entire industry. I don't know what I don't know, and I don't have the time to research it, and I don't care. So I enjoyed working with him, and I enjoyed working with his team, but I just wasn't passionate about that. And so after that, I started working with a place called the Happily Co.
It's hard to be passionate about someone else's passion.
That's his thing. He's a surfer. So, I mean, he's into the whole water stuff. I mean, I don't know. I'm from fucking Iowa and Indiana. Like, I don't know. I mean, good for you with your surfing. And I know I sound like a piece of shit saying that. It's not that I don't care. It's just that I'm just not passionate about it. I couldn't see doing that for the rest of my life.
Are you sure you're not from like Jersey or like New York or something or somewhere? Because you got the attitude. No, it just sounds like you just had a really cool badass dad. That's what it sounds like. And
I did. He was amazing.
That's what I'm saying. It's totally awesome.
Yeah.
So I got to bring up my friend. Oh, sorry. Yeah. Let me bring up my friend Zach here. This is Zach in Ohio. Sorry for Ohio State, Zach. Sorry about that. How does an introverted entrepreneurial mind like myself get noticed in marketing out my ideas and finally build my entrepreneurial career? From someone an expert in marketing. I know it's probably a deep question for this, but let's hit it. Let's talk it out.
Is that for me or is that you?
Yeah, that's for you. So Zach is, he's got this amazing show, The Legacy Right. First of all, he's a good friend of ours. He's part of the Extra League of Ordinary Gentlemen that we have, our panel show, and he is an introvert in the general social sense, but when he talks, he's passionate about his thing, so he can deliver the message well, but he is introverted outside of that. So I guess he's wondering how to build a brand or something.
I've got that same problem. So I'm an extroverted introvert. So that means that I prefer to kind of be on my own and be in my own little space doing my own thing, and that I recharge my social battery, just my energies by being in solitude. But that every now and then I like to kind of be around others and bounce my energies off of other people. An extrovert, on the other hand, is someone who recharges by going out and then feels depleted after they stay at home for too long. So as somebody who's worked remotely for almost 15 years, you definitely have to be an introvert to do that. But if you don't balance that out with talking to others and doing things like this, then it can kind of get dangerous. So I understand exactly how that is. Now, I guess it's hard to answer that question unless I know where he's at and what he's already done. And so, getting noticed for ideas, depending on what the idea is, that'll determine what avenue you want to use to try to get that idea out. Because certain ideas, they're if it's business and entrepreneurial or this, you're going to go here, like LinkedIn and things like that. Or if you're going to be creative and you're creating your own lotions and whatever the fuck, you're going to go to like Instagram and Pinterest, or depending on what you're trying to get out, what your idea is going to determine where you're going to go with it to begin with. And then that's going to determine how you want to talk to people, who you want to talk to.
Totally. So Zach also does like a crypto show and everything. Zach, drop all your stuff in the comments, man. It's awesome. So we'll have you, Tiffany, we'll get you on the Extra League of Ordinary Friends. We got a panel show with a couple of very libertarian or liberty and anarcho minded people. We'll grow your circles as well. So
awesome.
let me, if I may, let's go to the barbecue. So how did you, I'd love to hear the story of how you got the invite or how you got to attend this amazing experience. And I'd love to hear some of your thoughts, like who stood out and what really, the things that stood out to you from that experience.
Yeah. So, I mean, I've been a writer for a really long time. And I don't know if there's a lot of writers or a lot of people that are writers, but in my circle, I guess there's just not a lot. So, I've done a lot of little projects for people, ghostwriting here, doing copy there, creating some plan for them here. So my name's already sort of out, sprinkled on like some salts, on a baked potato type of situation. So when it was time for his barbecue to come up, my name was sort of floating around, and it was, well, we need a writer there that's a journalist who can take some pictures, meet some people, and put a story together. So I was invited to go, and my ticket was paid for me, even my plane ticket. And so I was sent there. So I went there and I did, I met as many people as I possibly could, but you were there. There were hundreds of people there. It was impossible to meet everybody, but I got to meet a lot of really great people. And then I came home and I wrote a story about it on Medium. And then passed it out. And I guess Ron Paul took the story and printed it, and he's got it in a frame in his office now. So I was really happy about that.
That's so cool. Well, congratulations on that. I paid for my ticket, and they were amazing. Now, did you mention as someone who kind of hooked you up for the ticket that deals with elections and like fair elections and debates and all that? Was that?
Yeah. So Christina Tobin, she's
there. You go. Thank you. I didn't want to like speak out of turn, but thank you. Yeah, I'd love to hear that about.
Yeah. That. So Christina Tobin, I'm like one of her biggest fans ever. She's such a go-getter, and like, I don't know what puts the fire under her ass, but I love everything that she does. And she's always everywhere and in the most important and best places. So she was one of the people that helped pay for the ticket to get me there. She runs the Free and Equal Foundation. She has me do some of her editing for her sometimes when she puts together some marketing stuff. I usually do it pro bono for her just because I love the mission so much. And being somebody who's a libertarian, diehard libertarian. So, yeah, I love working with her and doing the things with her. So
Very, very cool. Someone I paid because you're better looking, but I would argue that I have bigger breasts. So, that's okay.
I mean, I seen you in person.
I mean, no offense to you. I'm just saying I got some knockers down here. I might need a man's ear or something. All right. Anyway, so yeah, Christina Tobin. I actually met her very briefly, but I have not. I would love to have her on the show if you could. Be an honor. But like I saw her at Freedom Fest 2024 in Vegas. She was hosting the debate. And I don't think she made it in 25, but I would have had the honor to see her. But she was so brilliant with Thomas Massey on stage and doing the debate. Yeah, it was amazing.
And I know she's putting together something, and I'd have to kind of dig through my emails. I helped her put together some marketing materials for an upcoming event that they have for the Free and Equal Foundation. And I mean, they're having people from Wu-Tang there. I mean, it's going to be an amazing
Wu-Tang Clan ain't nothing to fuck with. Like, the whole point, Wu-Tang Forever, that's Buds. Is Sean out there, Sean Collins?
Wu-Tang are the biggest libertarians ever. I love them so much. So,
and the guy who got high, because he got high. He got one vote in the LNC, Libertarian National Convention. He got one vote. Oh, I forget. Red vote, not Red Man, not somebody. Zach knows it. He's going to tell me because I got high guy. Yeah. Wu-Tang Forever. There's Zach. Wu-Tang Forever. There.
Buckeyes 89 thinks that you do have nice man boobies, and I think you owe him a thank you for that.
I do. Thank you very much, Zach. I'm very appreciative of that, man.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But my voice is better than my boobs, I'll tell you. So, all right. So this is where can we talk woo? I mean, is this going to expose your soft white underbelly? Because like I don't want to. I'd like to say that things we experience are things we experience. We share them with others, and just because they didn't experience them doesn't mean they're real or didn't happen to you or whatever, right? So I'm very open about these things. I know that when I walk by you, I pinged. So I know that something's up with you where you're paranormal, otherworldly, some other stuff. So what are you now? Tell me what you are now, and don't let the FBI or you MUFON people get in here and take us all away. But no, tell us a little bit about like some of that stuff and how like your philosophy on faith or spirituality and energy and juji woo-ness.
Can you give me a little bit more to a framework to go on besides juji woo-ness? Because I could practice poetically for the rest of my life on that, and we might go places I don't even know where I'm going. I just need some framework on it. What
right, let's start with how did you have an experience that led you down the path of this? And my right ear literally just rang, so that means yes. So what happened that sent you that? Literally, my right ear is fucking ringing out of its mind right now, so I'm getting like this is yes to me. I know that sounds weird. So is that a good start? And then we can go from there?
Mm-hmm.
All right, let's do it. Yeah, light one up. Oh my God, I'm like literally going deaf on my right side right now. It is. So they are screaming at me.
This is something I've never talked about this ever. So welcome. I was 15. And there was one night. So my dad had this girlfriend, and her son painted his entire room yellow and black because he was a huge a basketball fan. I wanted my room to be this dark purple, and I put stars all over my walls, right? And so it was just like this dark, like weird room or whatever. So one night in my sleep, and I'm not known to like talk in my sleep or walk in my sleep or anything. When I sleep like the dead. I drool. I have zero apologies for the dimension that I fucking go to when I go to sleep, right? I'll be back when I'm back. So me hearing stories of me talking in my sleep and stuff has always been strange to me. So there was this time when I was 15, I woke up and I got up and I somehow found this permanent marker in my dad's house. And my dad didn't keep shit like that. Only thing I can think of is it may have been in the junk drawer in his kitchen or something, and I'd gotten it. I went into my room and I was writing H2O, water everywhere, not a bit to drink. H2O everywhere. Now I had no idea what any of that meant, and so it kind of set me on this trajectory of figuring out what the fuck, what's the thing about water. I crashed into this Emoto. What is it? Is it Hashimoto or
Dr. Yamoto?
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah, we literally talked about that, right?
Yes,
once again, I brought that up to you
because
because I'm psychic, once
Yeah.
again, like I literally brought that up to you. Like, oh, fine. Okay, so yeah, share about that. Dr. Yamoto did these water experiments where he crystallized and sent energy or words at things, and yeah, share that. I'll shut up
And
again.
so this doctor, he would take these water crystals, right? And he would say he would freeze them, but not before freezing them, he would speak into the water like, I fucking hate you, or I love you, you're beautiful. And he would freeze these samples. And the ones that came back where he would say these negative things to, the frozen water crystals would come back all just globby and just gross. And the ones where he would say these positive things to, they would come back with these perfect geometric uniform crystals. They were just beautiful. And I found that to be so fascinating. And it sort of just sent me on this trajectory of figuring out more about, somatics and about, geometry, sacred geometry, just all that stuff. And when you start searching that kind of stuff out and you come in through the back door like that, you end up finding out more than I think that you would if you just came in curiously, I suppose, and trying to just figure out what you need to figure out from there. And so I was pretty fortunate, and I don't know where that dream came from, and I don't remember that thing, but I remember my dad being really pissed off in the morning because there was an entire wall in my bedroom that was fucked, and we had to end up painting over it. And to this day, that wall is this weird shade of purple in there. So that's my story, and I'm sticking to it.
That's really cool. Like, so you had some kind of, almost in a weird way, like you were channeling.
I guess.
I guess that's the verbiage we can use, right?
Yeah, I've been obsessed with it since, and like to this day, I believe like water is like the essence of water. There's something about it that is like attached to God somehow. It's water is God, math is God. And those two together, water, math, sacred geometry, they all meld together somehow to inform the fabric of existence and the meaning of life. And so I just sort of spend a lot of my spare time trying to decode that.
Do you spend a lot of time in or around water, whether it be a lake or a coast?
I wish that I did. So where I live, there's a little bit of a river, but I never really get down to it. And so one of my checklist things on my bucket list is I want to live somewhere near living water. Do you know what I mean when I say living water? Mm-hmm. Water that's moving. So I need to be somewhere
and has life in it.
Yes.
I mean, you want it to be literally living water.
Which is odd because I'm a Virgo. I'm an earth sign, right? So I should be good with my garden. I should be fine with that. But I need to be around living water for some reason.
I wonder if maybe a water sign is your whatever that flamey thing, the opposite, whatever your opposite is. So
I've done.
You make good mud together.
Yeah, I've done my birth chart, but I still need to teach myself how to read these birth charts. I really want to learn how to read them so well that I can help others learn how to read theirs. We'll get there.
I have a friend, Anthony Pico, in New York. I did a podcast with. He's an astrologist, right? Is that correct?
Yeah. Astronomy is like the science of the stars, and astrology is the zodiacs.
All right. So you had this first experience. Now, once those floodgates open, literally and figuratively, or not to make a pun out of it, right? You had people talk to you? Do you see things? Do you experience? What kind of experiences do you have? Are they precognitive? Are they psychic? Are they telekinetic? Are they, can you move things? Like what kind of things have you experienced with?
A lot of the things I experience are precognitive. So it's almost like I can see the pattern play out in almost like this, I don't know. And I used to think it was because my dad was an engineer. So it's just something I inherited from him to be able to engineer parts from A equals B equals C equals Z. And I can see out what it is. But there are a lot of just situations. And when I doubt myself, that's when my life gets all jacked up. And when I doubt that part about me, and I've got 1,000 examples of when I've doubted that part of me and it just didn't turn out well. So I would say a lot of it is that I have a lot of really, really vivid dreams that sort of tell me how to expect things. But it's weird because my dreams aren't the situation themselves. It's like this completely different scenario, different set of emotions, different everything. But then when I'm in the scenario in real life, that's the dream that it connects to. And suddenly I have all the tools and information I need for the situation. And I don't know how else to explain it. So it's like that, you know. And since that day with the H2O situation, there have been a few situations in my life that have caused me some pause that I've written about, but I've hesitated writing them about them in any kind of public forum because so much scrutiny comes with things like that, right? And so it's like, so anybody that knows me knows that I like to go and I like to sit on my swing. I've got this big A-frame swing out in my yard, and I put my headphones on and I go out and I swing and I get really high on it. And sometimes I do twists and turns and all this stuff depending on how I'm feeling with the music. And sometimes I just get into this trance where I do this. My daughter does it too. When I was little, I had a swing set in my backyard when I was a kid, and I would do the same thing out there for hours. And there were times when I would be swinging for just hours and being in a trance. And we had this big fence around my yard, and it had these green and white vinyl like siding slats going through all the fences. So it was like a privacy fence. And it was at least 8 feet tall. I mean, it was all the way around. So I'm swinging and I'm just dazing off. And every now and then there would be this man that would show up on the other side of the fence, taller than the fence, just above his head with a baseball cap on. And he would look at me and I would look at him, and I wouldn't really feel like there was any kind of fear, but I felt like he was trying to tell me I needed to get down or I needed to do something. And I would get down and I would go inside or whatever. And then some shit would happen inside, or it would start to rain, or it would do this weird stuff. And my dad used to say I was some kind of an omen. So every time I was in a really bad mood, it would start to storm. And he would be like, I can't take my Harley out if you're in a bad mood because you know what's going to happen. And it was just the inside joke with us. And I know it sounds really strange. That's not regular shit, right? And you like, don't know if that's something that means anything, but it's just memories that you have. So, yeah.
Yeah. I have directly experienced not normal shit. I'm very familiar with how that works.
He would just say I was an omen. So if I was in a terrible mood, he wouldn't take his Harley out. And if I was in a good mood, then he would.
It's like Looper. Did you ever watch Looper?
What's that?
Looper is a Bruce Willis movie and the Justin Gordon-Levitt.
Right, okay. Well. You see from like Third Rock from the Sun, Justin Gordon-Levitt, that guy?
Yes, Third Rock. Yeah, but like adult, more grown up Justin Gordon-Levitt. Like when he was like, I found him to be a pretty good actor. I thought he's done some pretty good work, actually. It's interesting. And he can sing, allegedly.
Really?
I've seen. Yeah, that's what he tries to do. I don't know.
Let him do his
thing.
He got
pipes like me, but that's okay. It's not his fault.
You got the tits and the pipes. Look at you.
I got tits and the pipes. God damn it, right. Goddamn right.
I'm calling you Dolly Parton from now on.
That's right, sugar. I don't think I can do a good Dolly Parton.
That was terrible.
I probably do a good Tracy Chapman because she sounds like a dude, but that's about it.
Yeah, I remember when her CD came out. Listen to me. Her MP3. I remember when it came out, I really thought that it was a dude. And it's Tracy, so it's such a unisex name, you don't know. And then you look at her and you're still not sure.
If you had a fast car, I got a plan to get us out of here. Anyway.
It sounded just like her. That was exactly.
Yeah, that was a literal spot on.
I was listening to the music. Yeah, it was crazy.
She's got that unique. Forgive me.
I like it. It's good house band music, I think.
Yeah, it's good stuff. Anyway, so all right, so you've done so. Now did you start practicing this philosophy or spirituality? What would you call the thing that you practice or follow or just have tenets with or loose associate with or whatever? Not to I don't like labels. It's just more of a general connect the dots to things.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
So my father, we're Grandstaff. So that rings a bell to you that it's a native name, right? Grandstaff. So we are not from the Christian or Catholic persuasion in my household. So I wasn't raised with that stuff. We were raised more of like my dad was saying stuff like, you see that field out there? That's your church. And don't you ever go to a place that tells you have to drape yourself in cloths to talk to God. You talk to God bare. And, he was talking, all these things. My dad was involved in a lot of very spiritual type of things. He's got a huge wizard tattoo on one of his arms. And he's very tapped into that kind of thing. And I was his only child. So obviously I was going to pick up on those kinds of things. I don't know what you would label it. It's definitely not Christianity. It's not witchcraft. I don't know. I think it just takes its origins back from, native cultures and like an earth-based, spirituality-based thing. And I think it just comes from there. And it just makes the most sense to me. I've dipped into the other types of religions, and I see a lot of value in Christianity. However, I do know the history of how the Christian Bible was created and why. So it's really hard for me to read that thing like it's the word of God. And it's really hard for me to just wrap my entire being around something like that. I do think that Jesus was a prophet, but I don't think that, I think the whole point is not to worship him or a book. I think his entire message was the complete opposite of that. So for people to worship Jesus and to worship the Bible in their church, they missed the whole fucking point. And so maybe it's time for some more people to flip some tables, and I'd like to volunteer.
That's really eloquent the way you say that.
Thank you.
I agree. It has value and it has truth, but it's not factual.
Yeah.
In my opinion. And I think
with the Bible code, the Bible has those seven different layers. You can read the Bible in 7 different ways. And so you can read it.
Sure. Oh, I'm sure it's more than 7.
Yeah. And the people that read it as just some literal, I feel like that's so kindergarten. And I really can't have conversations with people. I mean, I can, I suppose, but I don't like to have conversations with people that believe that the Bible is literal.
Yeah, it's challenging. And that's what it is. Like, I love these people talk about the word of God. And this is a hill I will die on, because it doesn't matter, because it's true. It's factual. There is no single word of God in the Bible. Everything was either spoken first and written down by humans in some way. The second a human interprets it, touches it, does whatever, it is biased. It can't not be. It just can't. So
and
there is zero word of God.
The Council of Nicaea was put together so that they could take all the books from all the religions and all of them, the spiritual cultures around the world, and put them together in a cohesive story that could further some political agenda. Like, we've completely lost the point at all, and you'd be better off reading the Egyptian Book of the Dead than reading the Bible.
Right.
So,
and what's funny, let's circle back. Let's do a call back to Peterson. In this case, he started to deconstruct the Bible in this way, and it is more true. It's like the story of Job accepts that shit's gonna fucking happen to him.
No, the story of Job is that God makes a bet with Job's life, which is like a whole other fucking conversation.
Twisted. Yeah, that's all I know. I'm trying to go from the value side of it. I know we could shit on this all day. I've done so many. I've done a couple of these.
Like, what kind of shit deal is this? It's like saying, okay,
yeah, it's like, hey, devil, I bet I can get him to get fucked. It's like, what? Let's kill everybody. Fucking take away everything. Oh, you went mute on us. Hold on, you went mute on us. Oh, I don't hear you anymore. Did you click something maybe? Try that. Did that work? Oh, no. You want to try logging back in? I don't know what happened there, but something may have happened there. Oh, so we lost her. So she'll come back in. So everybody, please join us with some questions. Let's see. I'm going to go through the comments. This has been such a fun, interesting conversation. I had no idea where this was going to go. Moobs. There we go. Afro Man, because I got high. That's correct. All right. We're bringing Tiffany back on. Hello? You're muted again. You're quiet. That is so weird. Can anyone hear Tiffany? Yeah, no sound, Tiffany. That's what they're saying. Boo. You want to try one more time? Just do like a full, close it completely out, click back on the link. We're going to be here. We'll hold it. We'll keep the light on for you. Don't worry. We're going to be here. All right. So we'll get that. Yeah, this is true as well. We'll talk about that when Tiffany comes back on. All All right, let's go through. It's beautiful. And it is Joseph Gordon-Levitt. Thank you. I for a mind. Also, man did write it. And clairvoyant. Told your mom just recently. She me. So that's interesting. So I'd love to hear more about that. Did you have clairvoyant experiences, I for a mind? We'd love to hear those if you do have those. And we do expect Tiffany to come back on here. So while Tiffany's away, I might as well share what happened. My mom, late on December, I think 16th, had a stroke. So my brother calls me and tells me the next night I book a red eye to get out as soon as I can. And here she comes back again. Let's see what we got here. Are you there? Oh, what is happening? What did we do to you? I'm so sorry that something's not working with the microphone. Check your settings. Hi, Terry. How you doing? So if you go and click the little duck in the top left corner and go back and like redo the setting things with the audio and video and just try to re-click it and see if tap him again. We'll get it. I'm not worried. We're having a good time here. Welcome, Terry. Terry Batts. Are you smarter than a politician? Are you smarter than a politician? The answer is yes. That's what the answer is all the time. So, all right, there we go. Egyptian Book of the Dead that Tiffany had mentioned. So anyway, so my mom gets a stroke on the 16th. I'm out there. I walk into the hospital room and she's whining, literally whining, completely nonverbal. And obviously I'm like, I have no idea what's going on. And I give her a big hug, and the right side of her body's not responding as well. Her right hand is hurting. All right, let's see what we got here with Tiffany. It's not work. Try one more time. No. I have no idea. I'm so sorry, Tiffany. I have no idea what's going on there. When you talk in the audio piece, does it show like the green thing? Can you change the input? Like click on it and change which one you're using to talk into and see if one of the other microphones might work? Under audio settings in StreamYard. Just so you know. Oh, there you are. I hear you. A little bit.
This one?
Yes, there you go.
But I can't hear you now.
Now you can't hear me?
Okay, hold on. Maybe I can switch the speaker.
Change the input.
Okay. I got you.
Yeah.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
You can hear me and I can hear you and we can hear each other.
Yes.
And we're hearing each other now?
I hear you.
We got
it's working?
We did this.
All right. You got to milk the cow. There you go. All right. There. It's like it's the old that's a Gen X
okay. I don't know what that was or why that happened. I'm sorry.
I think the spirits don't want us talking to each other.
No, it's because we were getting into some shit.
We're about to get there. So have you had paranormal, like you talk precognitive? It's interesting because pattern recognition it's like a lot of that, right? You're like, you see causality 18 steps, and it probably is a lot of your dad's DNA or something, but you may have had that plus a sprinkle of some other stuff that happened. Did you have any, I don't want to get too personal, but did you have any like traumatic experiences, like hit your head or anything, or any like near death experience you might have had that may have activated you or done something to you?
Yeah, I don't know. I've not had any head injuries or anything like that, thank God. Although some of the people I've dated, you might think that, but it's not true.
And wait, because your decision making, that doesn't necessarily mean you have a head injury.
I'm sure it does. It does. It does suggest traumatic brain injury, but that I don't know. But um, near-death experiences, several. I don't know how I'm still alive today. There's
Really?
like so many. Yeah. So I've got this huge scar here on the back of my arm and here on this part of my arm. I fell through a plate glass window and it about tore my arm off and I was bleeding to death. And so I couldn't get to the hospital. My kids were watching while it was happening. So I went to the kitchen cabinet and I took out a rag and I tore it with my teeth and I made myself a tourniquet on both sides of my arm. And then I grabbed the little oh shit handle in my car and I drove myself to the hospital and I passed out from blood loss on the way to the hospital. And a car driving by found me, tapped on the window and woke me up. I told her I was fine. And I tried to drive myself the rest of the hospital and they were having a bunch of road construction. So I kept, my GPS was telling me to go one way, but it didn't know. And so I couldn't find my way to the hospital and I was doing circles and all this stuff. And I made it, somehow I made it in. All I remember was walking into the ER and saying, help me, and then falling, like collapsing on the ground. And then I remember waking up and seeing the doctors there, like asking me, like, you know, what happened? Am I okay? What's my name? What day is it? All this other stuff. And then they said my heart rate was like off the charts. So they were trying to give me something to calm myself down. So they gave me something to calm myself down. And then it was like, that was it. And I remember them stitching up my arm and like me just feeling these tugs on myself. And like, it was so deep, like the scars on my arms are so fucking deep that I can't even use my left hand the way that I used to be able to use my left hand. I can still type and do stuff, but I don't have any grip. Like I don't have any strength on it. And so
don't worry, you broads don't have a grip strength anyway.
Yeah.
I just want to be misogynistic for a second.
Okay, great.
I don't know if you ever heard that. Have you heard like the strongest grip strength for a woman is half the weakest grip strength that a man has?
No, I wouldn't doubt it. I've had a man's grip around my throat. It was I could tell that was a lot more than I could do.
That sounds like another near-death experience.
That definitely was. Yeah, it was just a few years ago.
Whoa. All right. We'll have to get into this one. So the plate glasses. So how is the recovery? About like 80%, 90%? What would you say?
I don't know. I'd say probably 50. So the swing that I was mentioning about in my backyard, I couldn't grip the chain and I couldn't hold myself up on it. So for the last 2 years, I've forced myself to go outside on this swing and I'll get going so high that it'll be dangerous for me to fall. And then I'll force myself to hold on only with my weak arm to tell myself, if you fall, you're hurt. And I'll make myself do it until the point where now I've got a little bit more strength in my arm and I can kind of do both of them now. And so I just keep doing that. Of course, in the winter, you can't, it's in Iowa, you can't go outside in the winter and swing, but it's just one of the exercises that I do so I can still use my arm.
Yeah. How many days can you do? Like, what do you get? 14, 15 days that you can go out and swing?
Yeah. 12 and a half, but close enough. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, we turn it, it's like a convection oven where I'm at. So it's like, we just turn it to dust. So
yeah. No, it's like either 1,000 degrees below zero or like 95.
Is there humidity too?
Yeah, in the summer it gets pretty bad. I would assume
lakes or some kind of moisture somewhere.
I don't know if there's where it comes from, but it does get pretty moist.
The night was moist. The night was sultry.
It was so moist. I couldn't take it.
Yeah. Throw Mama from the Train. One of my
oh my God.
All right. I just saw your private message. I'm not going to share that with anyone because we're being civil right now. But you were Phil Fallon at the
everybody watching. It says this is bullshit on planet. Fuck this. I'm not being civil.
Yeah, there it is. And it was where the government was trying to shut us down.
Yeah,
we're getting to the truth.
Yeah.
So, out of body experiences with any near death experiences? Have you seen yourself hovering? Have you seen? Left yourself?
That is a cool question. I've never been asked that, and that is fun to answer. So, a little bit of a vulnerable thing.
Well, you're free to answer or not. That's the beauty of speech. Is you're also allowed to not say something. You know what I mean?
I'm just going to skip through a bunch and then say I ended up in the intensive care unit when I was 22 years old. And as I was in the intensive care unit, I was having these weird fucking hallucinations that my baby sister was there. There were people there, and people there that like were deceased, and they were looking at, I was laying in the bed and they were looking at me over the bed, telling me like these, like what I needed to do and like what I shouldn't have done, and like reprimanding me about things, and like giving me words of encouragement. And it was so fucking real. And when I got done, I swore to God, my baby sister was there at the hospital. I was like, bring her, come here, bring her here. And she wasn't there at all. I haven't seen her in years. I hadn't seen her in years since then. And I swear to God, to this fucking day, no one could tell me that she wasn't there with me. And, you know, I had my mom, or my dad's mother and father died before I was born. And so, you know, I was seeing my grandmother, you know, I was just always like just dying to meet her. Right. And it's like, she was there. She was telling me like, basically like, this isn't for you. I don't know what you think you're doing, but like, get up now. Like, this isn't for you. And it was just this really weird experience. And I've never had anybody ask me that question before, or even been able to talk about that. So I don't know. I think it has a lot to do with the fact that I was almost dead. And so
I have a tendency to do that.
Yeah.
I have a tendency to ask those questions. And I don't, it's not out of offense. It's out of pure curiosity. Because
I knew what I was getting into on this podcast. I knew you were going to ask me about indies and all this other weird shit. So I'm good with that. But yeah.
So do you practice any rituals or anything? For example, like obviously the religions the organized religions have Christmas and Easter and these structured things that we know are taken from pagan things in the first place. Do you celebrate or have any rituals that you do with like Mother Earth, or just the way you and your dad perceived this thing?
So there are things that I do with just my children that like nobody really even knows, except for if you're kind of part of the family, because outwardly it's important for it to sort of assimilate into a situation. Historically, we know that outliers usually aren't treated very well. And so I allow my kids to be outliers within the safe confines of our home and our little homestead. And outside of that, they need to know how to kind of at least play the game. So like Christmas, for instance, we had a little, the pagan tree, and, we don't do anything with Santa because it's like is Satan for one, and for two, it's just the claustrum, going from the chimney to the whatever. We all know all of that.
I'm German, so I know the whole origin of
So I do it mostly because I really like to give, and I love to give my kids gifts, and what a good excuse to just give them a bunch of shit and like, you know what I mean, not make them earn it. So I sort of enjoy that, but we don't go all out. I don't do the whole thing. But on the 21st, we always make like a little bit of these like earthy cookies that we make out of like earthen ingredients, which we would use something like, just like flour and maybe like cinnamon and just things like that. We won't use anything like that. We make these little pad cookies and we go and we bury them. And then we usually have a fire somewhere in the house. You can't do it outside in Iowa because it's so old. So we light like lots of candles and lots of things. So I always love a good Christmas candle. And so, it's basically the festival of lights. Everybody knows that or whatever. And one of the traditions that we have at my house around Christmas is that Christmas isn't Christmas. It's the solstice. It starts on the 21st and it ends on the 25th. And that those 4 days, anything goes. So that means I could decide that I want to open everything on the 25th, or I could decide I want to do a fucking scavenger hunt from the 21st to the 25th, or just whatever we want to do. It's a celebration and a festival of those lights. So we sort of just don't do anything. So that's how we interpret Christmas. We don't do any Easters. We don't do anything like that. We'll do like a spring equinox, I guess, which is where I clean the whole fucking house and let the kids, get some treats or whatever. And then we burn some stuff in the backyard. So
do you do any like sage cleanings as well throughout?
We do that once a month anyway. So we don't just wait we just do a sage cleaning every Sunday. I do a house reset. And we reset the whole house.
There's like there's a Sabbath ritual to that.
Yep. So every Sunday I do a house reset, and then I burn my sage. I burn incense almost nonstop in my house anyway. And so yeah,
Are you a sandalwood patchouli kind of gal, or are you like the rose or the lavender? What's like the scent that you go?
I'm a dragon's blood type of girl, and I like jasmine. Jasmine's my favorite.
I have to I'll have to check out Dragon's Blood. I wonder what that smells like.
Dragon's blood's good. It's good for like clearing some negative energies or blocking that kind of thing from coming in. I don't allow a lot of people in my house.
I can't block anything from coming in.
I don't allow a lot of people in my house or in my area at all. So those who already come in have already been sort of.
Anyone who asks, aren't you going to invite me in? That's a Lost Boys fucking trick. Run and do not invite that motherfucker.
I recently encountered this with a crackhead ass neighbor that lived across the street. I think they're evicted now, but oh my God.
I'm like addicted now or evicted now? I'm like, wait, which one? Like, sounds like he was already
probably. I think he was addicted is why he's evicted.
Yeah. So tell us that story. So what happened? He came over and was like,
so this guy moves in across the street and like he just comes over one day, introduces himself unprovoked, and then starts making it his job and like life in general to watch my house and let me know if there were cars coming and going at my house or if there were people coming and going, and then intermittently coming over to my house asking me for cigarettes and if I had like little things he could use. Can he use my computer? Can he do this to this? And as he's telling me, asking me for these things, he's dropping these little nuggets of like knowledge, like I'm facing 20 years for domestic violence. And like just all this shit that makes you be like, you can go home now. And like he was just awful. And it was just across the street, neck tattoos, shaved head, like just the quintessential. If I had to create an avatar, because we were going to make a script and you asked me like to create the most white, trashy bullshit ever, I would have written him. And this guy moved in across the street from me, so it was wonderful. So I think he's gone now, thank God.
Well, I'm sorry that he's gone, because you could have had a material, you could have had a book.
No doubt, that's true. I need to start seeing things
like a superhero, crackhead, crackman.
Crackman's always thinking.
Very cool. So I must know, do you talk with any like psychic mediums? Do you meditate? I definitely meditate. Okay. How do you mind sharing a little bit about your meditation? How did you come across, when did you start doing it? You probably were an early adopter before people did it or even knew what it was.
It was
so I'd love to hear a little bit about that, because you seem to have done this for a very long time, and it's like interesting to hear people like OG people who've done that.
Yeah, I mean, when you think about the fact that your brain is this huge engine and it serves you all day long like this high-powered 383 small block, right? And it's fucking stuck in your head, right? And it's just going all day long. Every good car has to pull into the pit. You have to go to the gas station, you have to change the oil, no matter what. It doesn't matter how powerful you think you are. So the people that don't meditate are the ones that are running their shit on hot, and they're going to bust the head gasket. So you need to chill and you need to do your meditations. So I don't do it in the morning because it takes my Mack truck quite a while to get going. And once I get going, I'm just like going. But at night, in order for me to get myself to get back where I need to go, I do my meditation. My swing, I guess, is one version of that. But what you see these people doing where they're doing this bullshit and they're like sitting, I get it, because there's the hand positions, right? And you have the electrical components that go from one side of your body to the next, and you do the hand positions for that. If you're going to meditate for that reason, go for it. But if you're meditating just for the simple fact that you're trying to steady yourself and come back to an equilibrium before you start a new day or a new cycle, none of that shit is necessary. You just need to get into a position that's comfortable enough that you're not trying to itch or adjust, but not so comfortable that you're going to fucking fall asleep, because that's my biggest problem is if I get too comfortable, I want to fall asleep. And they say if you just get to a point where, I mean, you go until your brain is to the point where you're really not saying a bunch of thoughts in your head. You're just seeing pictures kind of, or you're just feeling feelings. And then you just follow that like it's a movie, and you do it until you forget that you're doing it. And when you realize that you forgot, that's when you can go ahead and pull out. And then that's when I go ahead and I'm done with my meditation. So that's how I do it.
That is awesome. Before we continue, is that your son?
No. Oh, yes, that is my son. Hi, Bobby.
Hey, so is he a pilot?
He wants to be. He is obsessed with aviation, and he wants to be a pilot.
How old is? I don't want to get too pryy. Is he old enough to talk about him?
Yeah, he's 15. You can talk about him.
Okay, I went to Embry-Riddle Aeronautical University. I am a pilot. So if you're ever up in Prescott, if you ever need to do a tour, if you ever make it to Arizona, I'll go around with you and just show you the buildings and stuff.
Heck yeah, bub, we're going to Arizona, okay?
So yeah, totally. We'll do a road trip or something. We go all meet up there and whatever.
Okay.
Go through Sedona. If you've not been, that's where the vortices are. It's fucking crazy.
Oh, God,
you would have a very interesting time there.
I definitely would.
So okay, so that's welcome. That's so cool. And then he's hi mom. There's another one. So. Like, ooh, cool. Well, welcome. Let's see. It's hands relaxed. Yeah. So that's what happened to me. So I used to meditate, but I did like NLP therapy. I didn't go the normal psychological route. And when the guy did a guided meditation, and I saw the shooting in South Carolina. I saw the Dylan Roof, Clement Pinckney shooting in South Carolina the week before it happened. And when I went back and like, I was told that by the guy who put me through the thing, it fucked me up. And like, ever since then I see like stuff like I'm literally pre-cognitive.
When I finished college, I wasn't sure which direction I wanted to go next. And so I think after a lot of deliberation, I've decided that I'm going to go and get my hypnosis license. I want to be a licensed hypnotherapist. If you want to go clinical with it. And I couldn't decide if I wanted to do that or if I wanted to try to learn how to do remote viewing. But I think I'm going to do both. I think I'm just going to start with HMI and then go from there. So what are your thoughts on hypnosis? Do you think that's legit? What kind of experiences do you have on that? Like
Yeah, I'd love to share. I mean, I'm happy to share a little bit. I'm a weird case study. I had an NDE. I had a near-death experience at 13. I was ejected from a car, out-of-body experience. I'm compelled to think from what I've experienced and the rabbit holes I've gone down and the things I've tried to bunk and debunk that I'm a soul switch of some sort with like a starseed.
Tell me more.
Are you familiar with starseeds? I don't know.
Tell me more about that. What do you mean?
So I left my body. I hovered over, and I think this other entity came and switched. And my life got weirder further along, and then at 40 is when I sought help. So it's like I didn't want to be here anymore. You know, I just didn't want to do that. So I couldn't do a psychologist because, like, no offense, but I'm smarter than all those people. And
then as soon as you say some shit, they're just going to throw you into a box somewhere anyway. So
yeah, exactly. And they're usually dealing with their own shit. That's what they're trying to figure out anyway. But so I went to an NLP guy. Now, this NLP guy had degrees in nonlinear mathematics and quantum mechanics. Okay. So like, regardless of whether I was going to get help, I'd be like, at least I could talk with him about that. So I could rent a friend for a couple hours, for an hour, So he had one of those introductory, like what NLP is. Cause I had no idea, like trying to introduce what it is. So I'm sitting outside his office. I walk in his little room and he's got a chair and this other like sofa thing that you sit on. You're not like laying down or anything. You just sit there. But I look around the room. He looks at me, cocks his head, and he goes, "You're different." And like, that's why I was there. You know what I mean? Like, I'm sure he was just saying that to get my attention. You know what I mean? Like he knew the right thing to say.
Carnival
But
games.
literally, I felt different. Yeah. So we go through this. We start going through some work, and then he goes, "I'm going to do a guided meditation." So he goes, "You're on the beach and you see these sheets of glass in the sky and they rotate." And it's kind of like, remember like looking through probably Iowa winters, like a mall, looking through a shop window at the TVs. Like it looks like a window and a window and a window or whatever, like from outside. So like, it's kind of like that. And I saw a black man behind a podium, single microphone. And he has this weird mannerism where he shakes somebody's hand to his right. He brings his hand over to his left to shake. And I saw a flash and I like shook and I had tears. And I'm like, it was 2015. And I'm like, I just saw Obama get shot. And it was like that. And the guy looked at me deadpan. He goes, "That either will happen here or that did happen in another dimension.
In another timeline." Yeah.
And I'm like,
I always wondered if CERN, you know how CERN turned on? What was it? Was it 2013 or 20? What was it? What year did they do that? And I feel like it threw a different timeline into existence, because then we had just like a shit ton of these mandala effects that popped up. And then we just a bunch of just really random things. I just wonder if you had to be at a certain frequency mentality to shift to this one, or you got stuck back in that one. And I wonder how many ancient texts were trying to describe that in language that we don't understand now. That's one of the reasons I'm fascinated with language the way that I am, because I feel like if you decipher the heart that was behind the letters, then you can connect the dots between all of humanity. Right. So I just wonder.
It really is.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I've got a whole thing that happened. So it was literally my session was on Thursday. The shooting happened the next Wednesday. And I come into the dude's office and he's like, he sits me down. He's like, hey, did you know what happened? Like, what was going on here? So I'm like, yeah, there was some weird shooting or whatever. He goes, that's the guy you saw. And it's really weird because I was like, I didn't even understand this. Like, I'd never done a guided meditation. I'm 40 fucking years old. I had no idea any of this shit is. I go online on YouTube and I look up this guy, and there's this speech that he has where he has this mannerism, and like, truth when the hairs on your arm stand up. I watch it and the hairs on my arm stand up.
It's like deja vu all over again.
Right. That is what I saw. I saw that exactly.
That's how I feel about my dreams. When you're asking about these precognition dreams, I don't know how to explain it. And it's like, it's not necessarily that the dream itself is the chain of events that's happening. It's just somehow like my subconscious takes all of those colors on the palette, and then later when it's time for me to look at it, it comes up in this perfect painting. I don't know how to explain it, but when it happens, I'm just sort of, I get really quiet because it feels like I'm just watching a movie take place. Like, and my energy is just there to observe. Does that make any sense?
It does. So let me ask you that, because it kind of plays into some of the theories I have about simulation theory, or I don't think we're on base reality. I think we're in reality something point, whatever, 2, 3, whatever number it is. I'll explain. I don't want to bog anybody else down too much, because we talked. Thank you so much. We're an hour and a half in. It's having a great time. I don't want to make it an 8-hour podcast, even though we probably could do it. We could do a Scott Horton 10-hour podcast with Lex Friedman. But basically, do you ever sense when you're in the zone that the thoughts are not yours? They're actually like inputs in, not thoughts out?
People ask me, when do you sleep? You do a lot of work at 3, 4 o'clock in the morning at the witching hour and all these weird things. And I'll spend my whole day just doing things physically, or doing stuff around my house or whatever. And then there just comes a certain time of the night where I feel compelled to sit down and start doing my work, and then I'll do my work and it'll be me, or I'll be doing my thing. And then there'll just become a point where it's like, I'm so fucking exhausted. I don't even want to be here, but I can't quit. And as I'm doing it, I come up with my best shit. And I guess that would be the best way to explain it, because it's not like I was thinking of it before. It's not like I planned it somehow, or like I had set up some scaffolding to get me there. It's just this thing that happens, and then I create that, and then I go to bed and drop at like 6 a.m. Right? And it happens an awful lot to me. And I just I think that's a really good way of putting it, is that it doesn't really feel like it's me, but it still feels like it's me. Like, I know I'm doing it, but I don't know where I can't connect the idea that I came up with any life experience or input from anything else.
So this is what I'd argue. It's kind of similar to the law of attraction. We always talk about this law of attraction, these laws of ideas, or how we get inspiration. It's my opinion that you align yourself with the current of the energy or the flow. It's not like you think that you get people to attracted to you. No. You go and get aligned with the current that everyone else is on, and that's where the draw becomes.
And when you do that, there's like so many interesting things that can happen. So if I have enough time and enough leave me alone and enough of the right, I guess, music or wind in my hair, just whatever the fucking case may be, where I get in that zone and I have enough of that where it sort of fills up that gas tank. Yeah, my son is the love of my life.
What an amazing young man. This young man. Can you read that, Tiffany? Come on, read
Mom,
this young man.
do you have a drink and do you want me to make one for you and bring it to you? Just want to make sure my mom performs as well as she can. Love you.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Oh,
That's awesome.
if he doesn't marry the best woman ever, I swear. But I was just saying when I get
I'm sure
into
you'll
that.
make sure of that.
Yeah, no one's good enough.
Yeah. Be careful with that. I know you are, but just be careful with that.
Yeah.
Look, I'm a mom's boy. I flew home too. Like I'm a mom's.
He's not allowed to move out of the house, so I'm not worried about it. You know what I mean? He's gonna live here forever. So it's all good.
So anyway, so as I went down rabbit holes. I started doing meditations, but then I started seeing like dark shit. Like I was at a concert. I was at an Andrew McMahon and the Wilderness. Sicilian, the satellite guy. I don't know if you ever heard that song. Okay. Anyway, so I was watching that, and like I literally zoned out, and I looked down, and I have a gun in my hand.
Oh.
And I put the gun upside down in my mouth, and I swear I feel the barrel scrape between the top two teeth, in between my teeth. I felt it, and I heard a voice go, "Do it before you change your mind." Like fucking just because once again I was like zoned out in this concert, right? Like music puts you in a, music does that. It puts you in a something, or it puts you in a just space. And it wasn't until I hit my head. I guarantee it was like it was a multiple headshots that ended up knocking something loose, Tiger. But like I get weird shit like that, right? So I go to this empath. I'm sure you're familiar with empath and all that type stuff. You're probably rate high on the empath in an empath way. So there's different types and all that. So I go to this guy, and he's a medical medium too. So he used to be a pharmacist, and then he became a medical medium. His name's Emil Faith. He's in Scottsdale.
That speaks volumes, not only about the pharmaceutical industry, but also about the power of alternative medicine. When you go from being someone who just prescribes medicine to be like, fuck that here, and you do that, versus someone who goes from that to that, I find those stories to be especially interesting. Yeah.
All right, now your son's getting a little antsy. Is that a yes or no, Mom?
No, bub. I'm fine, sweet pea. I love you. I'm good, honey.
Oh, that's so beautiful. No, I just wanted to check. I'm just messing around. That's beautiful.
He's the best.
I have to promote that. That's so beautiful, because community is what it's all about. So so I go to this medical medium. His wife's a Reiki person that does like the energy healing stuff like that. And he's like, okay, and he's holistic now too. Obviously, he does holistic medicine as well. And we were doing a whole empath thing, and we all got teary-eyed. I'm the only man in the class, of course. That's how it works. There's like 6 women and me. And I'm like, great. This is great. I really feel connected to this group of people. And once again, it's like, it like prohibits guys from even who do actually experience, you know what I mean? Because it's like like frowned upon in this establishment. You're like, why? Just say what happened. Like, who cares? Anyway. So I digress. So he goes, I'll do a medical reading for everybody. And I'm like, I'm diabetic. And I'm like, okay, cool. He'll say I'm diabetic, blah, blah, blah. No big deal. He goes through all the women, and he's like, you had a heart thing and a kidney thing and a liver thing. And all the women are like, oh my gosh, I did. I had just got out of the hospital. And you're like, okay. So I go and put my hands in his hands, right? He goes to sit down, and the fucking dude freaks out. He pulls back and almost falls back in his chair. Like literally like, and I'm like, I just broke the doctor. What the fuck? What the fuck? Like, we're like, we were crying already. I look around the room. Everybody's looking at me because like I was looking to debunk this motherfucker. I was expecting the same bull. Like I was looking at timbre, tone, what he says, how he says it. You know what I mean? Because like, that those are the cues. We look for the things that are off. That's where the beautiful pattern recognition. So this guy didn't do it with 6 other people before me. What the fuck is he doing? Like, that's literally what's happening, right? So then he stops. He goes, you have a lot of energy. I'm like, okay. Like, once again, like, okay, right. So he goes, let me try this again. He puts his hands out, and I'm like scared to touch him. I'm like, did I shock him like the carts in Sam's Club or like Costco? You know how you get zapped? I'm like, So I put my hand in, and he goes, okay, and he exhales, and he goes, he goes, you're homesick, and your family misses you, and you miss them. And I'm like, yeah, my family's in Philadelphia, 2,500 miles away. You know what I mean? Like, sure. Okay, got it. He looks up at me deadpan. He goes, no, you're not from here. You're from Sirius, and you miss them. He grabs my hands, and he kind of shakes them like that. And he goes, it's okay, man. I am too. And I'm like, what the fuck? Like, what the fuck do you make of that? Like, crazy town, right? No fucking clue what's going on. So and then honestly, I start meditating. I literally go, I see, I get purple waves when I meditate, and then I get visions. So it's like pulsating. I think it's kind of with my heartbeat or something. It's like, I get this, it's like pulsating purple ring that goes into a circle, and it goes like that and it fades away. Usually it's purple. Sometimes you get the green healing and the gold. Rare, but most of mine's purple. So I get this purple, and then I'll see visions. So I get this purple, the purple circle turned into a yellow eye, like the side of a Baltimore Raven helmet, the Baltimore Ravens. And then I did the Star Wars Hyperloop, Hyper Transwarp. And then I was in front of this blue glowing thing, and in my ear whispered home. And this was during a Roy G. Biv meditation. So the chakra where you're going through. Yeah. They're all my guided meditations. I don't do the guided meditation part. I go fucking places that are like, what the fuck happened? So we're doing the Roy G. Biv, but I'm literally I go to this place, like this blue glowing orb, and I hear home in my head. They come out of the meditation. I come back so fast. I start hyperventilating because I didn't like center myself, I guess, or whatever. I'm on the ground, just breathing, because obviously you're just disoriented or whatever. But I came out and I was like, what the fuck was that? So I look up Sirius, and I look up like whatever, and it's literally a fucking blue glowing thing. And I'm like, yeah, that's what I saw. God damn it. Like weird shit. And you're like, yeah, this is fucked up. It
reminds me of I went on this, I was invited to do this ayahuasca ceremony, and I was crowned as Queen of the North. And so everybody was to wear white to honor me at this ceremony, and everybody showed up and wearing white at this ceremony, and I sat in the corner. No one was to touch me, and we all did ayahuasca together. But the thing was, everybody else got their ayahuasca. I had to take 3 different doses, and even at the 3rd dose, nothing happened. And I was so pissed off. And the shaman was like, I cannot break through your energy. I can't. You are stronger than me and Mother Medicine. And like wouldn't let me, I couldn't do anything about it. So I sat on the side of the room for the rest of the night, just sort of meditating, through and watching everybody else do their purge, puking into their buckets and doing whatever they're doing. It was a really odd experience. And that was like the first time I went. The second time I went, I did it again, and I still didn't. And so he gave me on my 3rd dose. I wound up laying down and trying to make myself go to sleep and try to like turn my dream state on and get into this or whatever. And all I had was just a flash of a sea turtle and in the sea. And then that was it. And then that was it. And then it was just the weirdest thing ever. And I could never, so everyone talks about, but it was cool because after I got done with these ayahuasca ceremonies, I made some of my best paintings ever. And I'm not really a painter. I'm a writer. So I made some really great paintings and all this really great stuff, but I never got to have an experience really. And besides the sea turtle, that first time when I did those things, I had this experience where I was in this really, really tall, skinny type of building. And at the top was this big thing. And the people around me were these purple shaded people, and the person at the very top looked out at this big city, and she looked at me and she goes, as if to say like, this is all you. And I just went approvingly, and that was it. And then the other one was just the sea turtle. And it's like, have you ever done ayahuasca? Was it that short for you? And what was your experience like when you did? Or was mine just like he said, can't get through the energy?
I have not had the privilege to do it yet. I'd like to do like rhythmia or something and save up for it and really do it the proper way.
I want to go to one of those
I also
places.
haven't done mushrooms, but I do imbibe, obviously.
Yeah.
But this is actually to turn off the voices so I don't dream at night, actually. I don't want to remember. My dreams are not good. I wake up and I go places at night. I honestly fight intergalactic battles with my soul at night. It's fucking weird.
The brain's more active when you're asleep than when you're awake, and I believe that for several reasons. But yeah, I mean, I feel like, you know, ever seen that movie What Dreams May Come?
Yeah.
It's one of my favorite movies. I think it's I'd probably say it's my number one favorite movie, if I was being honest. And the part where Cuba Gooding Jr., he's like, this is the dream, reality, you know, reality's the dream, this is reality, you know, and he flips it on him, right? And then pulls that eye-shaped thing out of the window and pushes it out or whatever. Makes me feel like what we're feeling right now in this conversation and all this, what we think is reality, is us when we're dreaming. That's the reality, and then this is us practicing whatever it is that we need to do throughout our dreams into our reality. So that sort of flips things on its head about like, how do you live your life from a day-to-day basis? If you believe that, you probably live your life a little bit differently than someone who doesn't necessarily think that and thinks that they just go to sleep to rest because they have to get up to work in the morning.
Right. Yeah, you have to. And I mean, I do think biology does play its role, because I think you have levels of people, just like you have levels of everything. So some people are limited in their conceptions of things.
They have that whole system created in, I think it's like Indian culture, I believe, and there's just different types of people. Some people who are here, you know, just sort of as to experience and to sort of fill up the space, and other people who can tap into the spiritual side of things. And I can't remember off the top of my head what the names of what these things are, but I know the Indian culture, not Native American, like Indian type.
Don't
culture.
let me do that accent, because we will get canceled.
Yeah,
I do a banger accent, just so you know.
We have a question. Do you feel you can think thoughts?
We do. Hold on. Before, not yet. No. Time out. Whose show is this? This is mine. Because I want to do this. Read that one first. Because first of all, dude, this kid is awesome. Anyone who has a son like this should be proud AF. Please, Tiffany, read that one.
Just for everyone here, this is my mom. Not to brag or anything.
There it is. So
He thinks I'm I'm the best thing since sliced bread, and I'll take it. I don't care if the rest of the world thinks I'm shit. Listen, he hangs out with me 24/7. So if the person hanging out with me 24/7 still winds up thinking I'm the shit, and the people who only see me on Facebook who think I'm a bitch can suck my whole dick. Okay, and I'm done.
Yeah. That's a mic drop moment. So, and I not to get too personal once again, but you have one son. How many children total?
I have my oldest son who's 22, and then I have my 15-year-old son, and then my 10-year-old daughter.
Awesome. Oh, wow. Okay. That's great. There it is. So, and are you close with your daughter too?
Yeah. I mean, all my kids and I are close. Yeah.
I can imagine that.
They're the shit. So I figured, you know, since the rest of the world kind of sucks, I just make my own people.
Yeah. I went the other way. I either would raise my kids just like my parents or 180 degrees opposite, because I would broken motherfucker. So it would be one or the other, and neither of those would be ideal, to be honest.
Yeah.
So I just I took care of myself at 34. I went.
Yeah, well, that works for everybody. Everybody's got their contribution to society, and sometimes that contribution is no contribution at all.
Now, that said, I will sit down in a sandbox and start making a sandcastle with any kid at any time, because I'm a fucking 3-year-old. I don't really care. I'm like this many, and you can pull my finger or whatever. I could do that. Like, so it's a weird thing, because like I am like a child. Like in that way, I see children are absolute beauty. I just didn't want to fuck them up.
So you're a good uncle, but you don't want to be in charge of teaching them right from wrong.
Yeah, I'm afraid I'm afraid I would have done some real damage. I'm really afraid of that. And like, yeah, that's my own problems. And that was before I really got help, like the real help that I thought I needed, you know, to start addressing some stuff. Oh, we've got the champion of dog exteens.
Judy, it's not your show, babe.
So, look, you've been here hour 45 minutes. It's been an honor. This has been so much fun. Once again, like time warp, right? Seriously, did it feel like a couple hours yet?
No,
like,
I feel like I could talk for another hour.
And seriously, we totally can. We'll have to schedule more time, but let's roll it to the top of the hour, and then we'll say our goodbyes and everything. But thank you again. Before we call everything, share some of the ways we can get a hold of you, some of the great work that you're currently doing, some of the things you're writing for, people you're writing for. I might be able to get you connected with some people you might want to interview. That might, I don't know if you're doing that for, publications and whatnot. So share some of that.
I've got so many irons on the fire. So I write memoirs for people, especially people who have dealt with trauma. So I do interviews with them, and then I ghost write their stuff for them, and we create books and whatever thing they're trying to do. That's sort of my passion project. Professionally, I write for a bunch of law firms, write a bunch of their copy, because that's the engineering part of me that can do everything piece by piece. And then I'm the co-founder of, I don't know what you call it, because it's 3 businesses under one. And so I do all of their social media and all of their copy and all of their stuff. So everything you see that is them, that's me. And then I've just got a bunch of ghostwriting things that I can't really talk about because of NDAs that I get involved in. So you can usually just find me like on Facebook, on Amazon for T Grandstaff books. You can go to Keyword and Conscience and find my website and book consultations or projects with me. And then I just started a Substack so that I can, share some of my work out on there too. So you can find me on Substack as well.
That is awesome. Cool. Well, do we have any topic? I did want to play this. Let me pull this up. I just came across this on the X. I know you're not on the X. You're on the Boomer Social Network. I'm on that too.
Yes.
Let me pull this up. Let me just pull this up.
Should we take questions from people who are watching too before we leave?
We should. Yeah. Hey guys, bring in your questions. Bring in the questions. I got to share this though. This guy, are you ready for this?
Yeah, bring it.
All right.
Giving unfair advantage to authoritarian governments against countries. First Amendment type of...
That's already happening?
That's already happening. You're seeing the polarization in countries that allow for the First Amendment and protect it, which is great. And I know it's difficult to hear, but it's time to limit the First Amendment in order to protect it. And quickly before it's too late.
What do you mean?
I mean that we need to control the platforms, all the social platforms. We need to stack rank the authenticity of every person that expresses themselves online and take control over what they are saying based on that ranking.
The government
should
control the social media.
Yeah, should do that.
Okay. I don't know where to begin with that.
The government should be in control of limiting the First Amendment.
First of all,
So
was
we can
he
protect
from
it.
Israel? It sounded like, okay, but
Yeah, no kidding. What do you think he has a sound of
second of all, our entire government is built off the fact that we don't do that. And so, like,
What the hell are you talking about? It's not like he was from New York. He wasn't like
From
one of
New
the
York.
New Yorkers.
Was he
He
from
was like
Jersey?
one of the Middle Eastern ones. Anyway,
Yeah,
go
that
ahead,
was
please.
insane.
No, go
Is
ahead.
he really trying to push that as like something we should seriously consider?
Yeah, did you hear the manufacturer? This is the thing. Listen to even the people, the journalists manufacturing it. Oh, is that so? I guess you're right then. I guess because you said we should limit it to protect it, we should limit it to protect it. Back to you, Joe. Sell
As
some more
someone who
fucking
writes
drugs.
questions for interviews and for PR campaigns and stuff, there's a specific way to write a question to lead people to have a specific type of answer. And I felt that from the moment she started talking.
Yep. She's like, tell me more. You're like, go fuck yourself is what it is. What the answer to that is.
Look at me and you hearing about this. We ain't asking someone, tell me more about your thoughts on this. I feel like there's some legitimacy here. Our first instinct is no, fuck that. So the fact that she's coming up with any kind of openness about some bullshit like that, you can already tell it's scripted. Nobody with the right fucking mind wants to hear about how it's better for them to shut the fuck up. No.
It was a 1 minute clip, by the way, of like a 3.5 minute clip, but I clipped like as much context as I could, but literally that's what he was selling.
Yeah.
We need to limit your right to protect your right.
Well, I mean, that's how it all goes, right? I mean, in order
Right.
to make you feel safe, you know, you were going to go ahead.
Trading, though. I mean, it's like that doesn't protect
get on my
it.
nerves, even as a kid before like 9/11. Like, why are they making me wear my seatbelt if this is my life? Like, I should be able to take the risk I want to take. They're not protecting me for anything. Why do they care about me that much? They don't even know my fucking name. Oh, they want that $25 from me and all 4,000 people in this. Like, you know, like.
Well, I can imagine your dad being motorcycle guy, right? Helmet laws and all that other bullshit that they try to impose, right?
Yeah, some bullshit.
Oh, so that's an interesting one. Like click it ticket stuff too, right? It's like, yeah, you're literally just trying to fucking cash in on this, man.
You don't really care about my safety whatsoever.
It's silly. So before we go, a couple more minutes. Do you have any topic, anything you wanted to chew the fat on? I mean, I guess your son wants to know what it's like being so awesome behind the scenes. Is it stressful or stressful leaving?
It's definitely
being his mother.
Oh, being his mother.
Look at that. That's so cool. Do you guys have a specific hobby or hobbies you do together? Like something it's like yours?
Me and my kids?
Yeah.
Yeah. So my daughter and I, we make bracelets together, and she's really into geography in all the countries, and she's memorized all the flags of all the countries. And so we make bracelets with the flag colors and the country name and symbols that go with that country. And we'll make these stacks of bracelets together. So that's our thing. My son's really into
get on Somaliland, because it'll be taking over Somalia as they bomb the fuck out of it again. So just so you know. There's no propaganda there, by the way, in the Minnesota fraud thing. It happens to be Somali. Right. As we had the record number of airstrikes. Right. The record number of airstrikes that we didn't talk about all year. Okay, sure. Whatever. Anyway, okay. So you're what about your 22-year-old? And then we'll get to you'll get to your 15-year-old at the end, because obviously you guys seem to have a really cool connection.
Yeah, my oldest son. I mean, he's a comedian. He's very funny. He's just sort of
dark humor, I bet, because he's probably smart.
Yeah, definitely dark humor. Very smart. He got that part from me. He's got the I don't fuck the world in the system side from me. He's definitely a punk rock type of kid. I think he's the coolest. So yeah, they've all got different sides of me. My oldest has that side of me. My 15-year-old has my big, tender, loving heart, and then my youngest daughter, she has like my I don't know, like my more cold-hearted, I guess, side, but like in a cute way. Like my daughter is maybe. She's the baby, so she will. Yeah, she keeps all of us in line. Let's just say that.
Very cool. Yeah. Cool. Glenda was asking about your first poetry.
Where was it that you wrote your first poetry at? In middle school, actually. I won an award, and my poem was purchased by someone in town. It was a poem called Glory, and it was about what glory actually meant, whether or not it was fuel for the ego or whether it was something that was serving something outside of yourself. And it's not true glory unless it's something that's external. And I wrote it in 7th grade, and somebody bought it from me. And so then I was like, maybe I should be a writer. And so I started.
So that was the one. So that like kicked it all off. That's so cool. All right. Well, before we call it, anything else we have before we call it a night?
Can you talk about your new project? Oh, so I just wrote this.
New project. There we go.
I just wrote a book called Gentle Witness. So I'm a certified trauma-informed storyteller. The last couple of years, I got my certification in that so that I'm a victim of really severe domestic violence. And so I decided that I was going to leverage that and sort of create I'm just going to build an empire on the fucking ashes of that. Right.
I'm sorry to hear that, by the way.
Thanks. It's for the best, really. And so I've become an advocate. My stuff is in libraries. I've won awards for the work that I've done with women at DV shelters and things. It's things I don't really talk about openly because it's just sort of something between me and myself. So I wrote this book based on what I know as a certified trauma-informed storyteller. So it's a memoir of some of the things that I've been through, dotted with some exercises on how to excavate that stuff out of you or other people. And at the end, you should have a nice little packet that tells your story, and you can create a book with it or whatever it is that you want to do with it.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Well, everyone, this has been Tiffany Grandstaff. This has been fun, Tiffany. Let's do this some more. Let's do this again.
You want to do it tomorrow?
I'll get in touch with some people. We'll talk some more offline and stuff, and we'll connect. I'm gonna hit end stream, but the last way, could you once again share your Substack and your Amazon link?
Yeah, so it's T Grandstaff Books on Amazon, and then Substack. So do I need to drop it into the chat?
I've got it in the show notes.
Okay,
well.
cool.
So
Yeah,
I just wanted you to say it, just so you can have it. People listen. They go, oh, type it in. People type in as they listen, or if they make it this far. They may, we'll see how far they make it. But everyone in the chat, this has been awesome. Thank you. I made a bunch of new friends today because a lot of people on. Your son seems like such an upstanding young man. You got some great friends who came to see you, and that was awesome too. Happy New Year, Tiffany.
Definitely.
Let's make it a good 2026, shall we?
Fuck yeah.
All right, cool. I'm going to talk to you as soon as we hang up here. Don't go anywhere. We got to play the outro, which is the same as the intro, but it's a whole other thing. I'm working on another thing, but we'll get there. Thank you, everyone, for joining us on another Not Conscious. The 7th, we've got Toad from Tower Gang. So we got Toad coming on, If by Whiskey. So that'll be fun. All right, guys, we'll see you. Happy New Year. Take care.